I can't believe it's been 10 years since we filmed the HGTV episode with Sam and Lucie Silveira here on the Windward side of Oahu in Kailua Kaneohe. And we're back at where the episode initially started, and back then this restaurant was called Pinky's. It's no longer in business, and now it's Nico's Fish Market, which is an incredible restaurant here in Kailua on the canal. So you may recognize this location. This is a scene where they did some interviewing with Sam and Lucie, and we had our initial consultant here. And don't make fun of me, but I own the same Aloha shirts that I did back then, so you'll see those throughout the video today. And I'm just going to take you through step by step of the different homes that we saw back then and what's been happening in our market here over the last 10 years. We'll jump into what markets appreciated the most of the homes that we looked at. And you're going to want to stick around to the very end, because I've got something special for you to see what's going on with Sam and Lucie today. When we first filmed this episode, they were relocating here from the Bay Area, San Francisco, and had a thriving photography business. And we'll see what's going on in their world today. Okay, here we are back at Kailua Beach Park, and this is where I summarized all three of the homes that we saw with Sam and Lucie. And I no longer have that t-shirt, so I'm wearing an Aloha shirt today. However, this is also the location where they were doing their stand-up paddleboarding. You know, it's still a beautiful white sandy beach. However, 10 years later, you can take a look at it. There is maybe a little more erosion you could see on the coastline, but you know, that was already starting to happen back then. But this is one of the most beautiful beaches here on Oahu, Kailua Beach. So stay tuned, and we're gonna jump into the houses. Hey, well, it's a beautiful day here in Kaneohe, and we're at where we filmed the first home, and there's a lot of dogs out today, which is great protection of your homes. However, we're on Po'omau Street in the Ahuimanu area, and yeah, lots more dogs than there was 10 years ago. And turns out the home that we looked at back then was listed at $890,000. It was a 9-bedroom, 4-bath. And then it sold for $849,000 the next year in 2015. And then I was back on the market and sold again in 2021 for $1,390,000. So, you know, definitely saw some appreciation here in the Ahuimanu area. And stay tuned, we're gonna jump into homes number 2 and 3. Okay, now we're gonna cover both homes 2 and 3 from this location, and directly behind me is gonna be Heeia view, and that's where we saw a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, you know, that had incredible views of Kaneohe Bay. I thought this is a good perspective, because the views you're gonna have from that house are gonna be out this direction. You can't quite see it from here, but Chinaman's Hat was a view that we had from that location, and it's a beautiful mid-century modern home. In Heeia view, that was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath at the time, priced at $872,000. And that was the second home we saw. And then the third home we saw, stay tuned. The third home we saw was the most expensive of the 3, and it was a 4-bedroom, 4-bath for $998,000, and that was in Leilani Ocean, which is going to be kind of in this neighborhood directly behind me. That's Leilani, heading up the hill there. And once again, those had incredible views of Kaneohe Bay. And one of the cool things about Kaneohe, you don't see this every day, but if you could see directly behind me, I'm gonna flip the camera around. Here's a plane that's approaching Kaneohe Marine Base, which is directly around the corner from here. That's not an everyday thing, but it's a pretty cool sight to see. Now that's a brief summary of all 3 homes that we saw during that episode, and now I'm going to take you back to the location where they actually made their decision. Okay, here we are back at Kalapawai Cafe and Deli, and what's awesome is they're still in business. They actually just celebrated 18 years at this location. Unlike Lucie's, where we filmed that is no longer in existence. Kalapawai Cafe and Deli is a staple here in the community. And so this is where Sam and Lucie made their decision during the episode of which house they're gonna buy. Now, I'm not gonna spoil that right now. I want you to take a look at the episode. However, what I do want to talk about is what's happened in all 3 markets between Ahuimanu and Heeia View and Leilani Ocean. Of all 3 neighborhoods, what's happened over the last 10 years is it's kind of they've all kind of appreciated in different variations over the past 10 years. And what we saw in Ahuimanu, where the first home was, it's actually up 53%. It's going from 800,000, 875 for the average sales price in 2014, and now it's at $1,228,833. So that's a 53% appreciation. And then meanwhile, in Heeia View, the median price back then was, average price $776,500, and now it's at $1,425,000. That's an 84% appreciation. That's by far the highest appreciation of the three neighborhoods. And last but not least, Lulani Ocean is up 52%. That was going from $875,000 10 years ago to $1,333,000. So it's always fun to kind of look back and see which one, if you were to buy which house, which one would appreciate it more. Obviously, every house in every neighborhood is different, but that's just like a fun little thing I like to do. And we did that on the recap I did last year of filming HGTV episode with Hawaii Life in East Honolulu. So if you have any questions about the windward side of Oahu or looking to get in on a market here in Kailua Kaneohe, feel free to reach out and give me a shout at 808-371-3509. Mahalo. Okay, here we are 10 years later, and I told you to stick around to the end because I got something very special. Time is flying, and our Silveira family has grown. It's 10 years later, and they now have a thriving photography business here in Hawaii, and they've made the move, and I'll let you guys talk a little bit,
Yeah, we still love this house so much. Yeah. I can't even picture living anywhere else. And now we have this one. She was still in my belly.
And if you have any cutie pies or anyone that needs professional photography, you got to look up Lucie XYZ Photography.
Yay.
Is that it?
Yes.
.com? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, aloha.
Aloha.